Hello and welcome back. This is the conclusion of East the Mask of the Sun. By the way, the Golden Shrine music is going to be remixed and put in Memories of Salsetta. There are no normal enemies here, just the last two bosses in the game. And we're coming up on them right about now. First off, well, let me get ready for this first. This is the boss fight I've been dreading. Garuda. Haha, Garuda is loyal to 3 people only. Yeah. Him, himself, and he. Congratulations, Adol, you can put 2 and 2 together. God damn it, Garuda, you taunt me by glitching the top of the frame. Yeah, and it was stolen by Fina and Rhea. And Garuda's plan is to power up the Black Pearl again and use it. In light of East's origin, that means he may want to become the next Garm. So Garuda in this phase has 3 attacks: the Powerball, the Reflect Shot, and the Fireballs. And this can be just a little bit painful. This is an especially bad fight against Phase 1. Phase 2 is why I was dreading this fight. Because, due to a detection fault, it's actually impossible to hit Garuda without taking damage yourself. Now, it is possible to damage race him, and, well, pretty much necessary, but it's still very difficult for that. So, it's a really hard fight, but not for especially good reasons. But I can make it just fine. And that does it to Garuda, and I will be stopping for a moment to reset the game to put the frame top back on. We have to downgrade one equipment step in order to fight the final boss? Gee, I wonder when I've seen that before. Safety save. Okay. And there's Eldiel down there doing his thing. Just making sure everything's in order. Yeah, you don't even get to fight Eldiel in Dawn of Ys, because after Eldiel does the ritual to raise the ancient city, Garuda shanks him with Adol's Claria sword. Long story. Strobe. Okay, Eldiel is a 4-phase boss fight. Phase 1. Stay ahead of the lightning. Because if it catches up to you, it'll pretty much kill you. More or less instantly, really. It can beat you on the corners, but you're faster than the lightning blast is on the straightaways. And standing behind him when he's about to fire will give you a lot more lead time. Okay, time to horseshoe Eldiel's necklace back around him. And we've driven the corruption from Eldiel's mind, leaving his overwhelming pride and arrogance. Yes, we've driven out Garuda's corruption, but we still have to deal with Eldiel's personal problems. With a sword. Now in this phase he only does that feather attack, though running into him wrong in some ways will cause damage to you, as you will see fairly soon. Still though, this phase is not that bad so long as you can figure out how to make the feathers attack you in not terrible ways. His hitbox actually starts above his ankles. Okay, Phase 3. Eldiel is completely invincible in this phase also. So what you have to do is wait out his attacks. And stay out of the corners. Trying to avoid him by standing in the corners is the worst thing to do because he will just trample you. Stay out of his power aura, and even him running into you won't do much damage. Like there, that only did like 9 points. There should be a flicker effect on Eldiel's power aura, but, you know, YouTube, dropped frames, that sort of thing. The cavalry. Okay, after the event with the 5 disciples, your hit points will be completely refilled. Now, Eldiel has the Feathers attack from his 2nd phase, his Power Aura from his 3rd phase, and also a new attack. And I actually had to re-record this fight because in my previous attempt, I think I broke Eldiel's AI and he didn't actually use his new attack. It was a particularly bad hit to take. Thankfully, Hero Sword. Okay, this is the attack. Basically, he tries to suck you in, and you have to constantly run away, and coming into contact with him while he's sucking you in will do enormous damage. After he's done, you actually have to run around and recreate as many chunks of the old platform as you can, because the new tiles actually spawn around where you run. This is gonna be tight. Still, though, I think I'll be able to finish him off in the next pass. And down he goes! That's it for Eldio. And I'm just gonna keep quiet a bit during this next sequence. By the way, during the ending, you do manually advance text boxes. Okay, yeah, there was a flicker effect on Eldiel's transport bubble, which means it's probably not going to show up too well. Sorry. Come to think of it, well, okay, Garuda had some idea what it was, but bad guys have been defeated. The ancient power has been buried. So it's time for everyone to move on. Well, it wasn't specifically you that caused a lot of trouble. Life advice from Dogi. To be fair, he does come off pretty well on that front in Oath and Felghana. Yeah, the Romans have been driven out, which is a good plus on its own. Yeah, Dr. Flair knows that all well. We'll see you later, Doran, when you're a giant beefy brawler. And see you later, Lisa. Just don't get into any more trouble with godly beings of ancient times. Okay, and that wraps it up for Ys 4 The Mask of the Sun. Final verdict. Mask of the Sun has some problems, such as a rather pronounced and even sometimes excessive grind, though it's still not as bad as some older RPGs as far as grinding goes. And it has a problem of the fact that a number of external things, well, a bunch of things in the gameplay have no real use in the gameplay, such as magic being almost completely useless against bosses, and the fact that the expensive items that perform extra functions aren't worth buying at all. The bump system is unforgiving, but I can work around that difficulty. The game action is fairly fast-paced. I don't really have that many complaints about the story, it's just an Ys story. There are less problems I have with it than I do with, say, Dawn of Ys, which I may tackle sometime, but not in the immediate future. Still, though, if it wasn't for the grind, I would probably play this game about as much as I play Ys 1 and 2. There's nothing really offensively bad about the gameplay, unlike, say, the SNES version of Wanderers. So it may be worth checking out if you really feel like it. It's okay if you don't want to, what with Memories of Celceta on the way, but... well, I just laid out the whole game for you anyway, so I guess a playthrough may not even be mandatory. So the credits are a bunch of little flashbacks to other moments in the story, and so on. Oh wow, they left the judo flip in the credits. Yeah, everyone remembers Wild 2 Og's role in Falcom. I have no idea who any of these people are. So anyway, I'm probably not going to be taking on any more RPG projects in the near future until I either get a better computer setup, or Ys 5 somehow becomes miraculously translated in the meantime. Ys 5 is the only installment in the series, it's the only installment in 1 through 6 that I haven't actually finished playing through. Apparently some people find the fact that in Ys 5 the collision detection is centered on the weapons sprite to be a bit awkward, but I never had a problem with it myself. I'd still actually like to play through Ys 5, though, even if it has sort of the reputation of being the black sheep of the series. Okay, here's the AGTP translation staff. Yeah, Deuce actually did the fan translation of Oath and Felghana, and I think he worked pretty hard on the fan translation of Ys Origin, which was finished just before Ys Origin was officially released on Steam. Oh, post-credits content involving Dogi. Yes! Say yes! Yes! I think that's a bit of a jab at the ending of Dawn of Ys. Well, anyway, that's really it for Ys 4: The Mask of the Sun. I will be seeing you next game.